Right, so get ready, everyone, because we've got a pretty massive Premier League match coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Man City versus Chelsea.
It's gonna be a good one.
And we've received a ton of data for this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is going to be a really in-depth, deep dive.
So we're not just talking about the score, we're talking about all the reasons behind it.
We're going to try to figure out exactly why things might happen, the way they're going to happen, based on all this information.
Yeah, wow, that's impressive. It's like we're almost building a statistical model to predict this match. It's not just about who's going to win, it's about why they might win.
Exactly.
All right, I'm ready. Let's dive in.
Okay, so first, let's set the scene a little bit. Saturday evening, Etihad Stadium, Man City, desperately trying to move up in the league.
Yeah.
Chelsea,
Let's stay ahead of them.
trying to stay ahead. They're separated by just 2 points.
2 points. That's it.
Chelsea in 4th, Man City in 5th.
And you know what that means?
Big implications.
It's not just about where they are in the league right now. Right.
It's about how they've been playing recently.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about that recent form a little bit.
Yeah.
Man City.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a good run lately. 3 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 loss in their last 6 matches.
Pretty dominant. And who could forget that 6-0 win over Ipswich?
Oh, yeah.
That was something else.
Talk about a statement.
They were on fire that day.
But Chelsea, they've been a little bit more up and down, right?
A little inconsistent, you might say.
Yeah, they've only won one of their last 6, 3 draws and 2 losses.
Okay, so is this a sign that they're maybe struggling to find their form?
Could be.
Or are they just, keeping it under wraps, saving their energy for this big clash with Man City?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's what we're going to try to find out.
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, are they going to be able to pull off an upset here? I mean, one thing that could definitely be a factor is home advantage.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Man City at the Etihad.
It's Fortress.
They're tough to beat. They've only lost once in their last 5 matches at home.
Wow, and they're averaging 2.4 goals scored at home.
Which is
pretty high.
Significantly higher than the league average.
Yeah.
And they only concede 1.2 goals at home.
So they're tough on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Man City at home are a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. So now let's look at Chelsea on the road. Are they road warriors?
What?
Or are they a little bit more comfortable?
Let's just say their away form has been a little bit less impressive.
Okay.
They've got 1 win, 3 draws, and 1 loss in their last 5 away games.
So not terrible.
Not terrible, but not amazing either.
Not as good as Man City at home.
Exactly. They're scoring an average of 1.6 goals on the road.
Okay.
But conceding 1.4. So, a bit of inconsistency there.
So maybe some vulnerability there?
Potentially, yeah. And when you combine that with Man City's home strength, this could be a deciding factor in the match.
All right, so we've got Man City with the home advantage.
Yeah.
They've been a little bit hotter recently than the Chelsea.
Right.
But let's get down to some of the tactical stuff here. Let's talk about defense. Who's more likely to keep a clean sheet in this match?
Okay, well, looking at the data, Man City has a 40% chance of keeping a clean sheet.
Pretty good.
Chelsea is sitting at 30%.
A little bit lower.
But you know what I find even more interesting than that? The failure to score probabilities.
Okay.
Man City has a 20% chance of not scoring.
Okay.
And Chelsea has a 25% chance.
Oh.
So both teams are likely to get on the score sheet.
Yeah.
But Man City has that slight edge in terms of their likelihood of scoring a goal.
Okay, so maybe we're in for a high-scoring match.
Potentially, yeah.
But to really understand how these defenses might hold up, let's look at the goals conceded and goals scored over those last 6 matches.
Okay, good idea.
Man City has only let in 1 goal per game while scoring 2.5 goals per game.
That's impressive.
Chelsea, on the other hand, is conceding 1.5 goals per game and scoring 1.8.
So again, we're seeing that Man City has been stronger, both defensively and offensively in recent matches.
Okay, so Man City looking pretty good on paper, but there's one more thing that could really shake things up here.
Oh yeah, this is a big one.
Injuries.
Injuries can change everything.
They can completely change the dynamic of a match.
Absolutely.
So let's take a look at the injury report and see who's going to be missing for both sides.
Okay. Let's start with Man City.
Okay.
Rodri, the midfield maestro, he's out long term.
Yeah, big loss for them.
And John Stones, the defender, he might be back.
Okay.
But he's probably not going to be at full fitness. So even though Man City have a lot of depth in midfield, losing a player like Rodri can definitely impact their flow.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's Chelsea's injury list.
Oh, boy.
Which is a bit longer.
It's a long one.
Dewsbury Hall is down with illness. Mudryk is suspended.
Right.
And then you've got Kellyman Badiashile and Fofana, all with hamstring injuries.
Ooh, that's a lot of defensive players out.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder if this is going to force Chelsea to play more defensively.
Yeah.
Especially against Man City's attack.
It could definitely change their game plan.
So we've got Man City looking pretty strong on paper.
Yeah.
But with that question mark in midfield.
Right.
And then you've got Chelsea with some attacking potential, but hampered by those injuries.
Particularly on defense.
Especially on defense.
Yeah.
This is shaping up to be a really interesting tactical battle.
Yeah, this is going to be a chess match for sure.
Absolutely. And that's why we're doing this deep dive, right?
Right.
To understand not just who might win,
yeah,
but how they might win.
Okay, so let's take a look at those outcome predictions. But remember, they don't tell the whole story.
They never do.
The data gives Man City a 50% chance of winning.
Okay.
30% chance of a draw, and a tiny percent chance for a Chelsea victory.
All right, so Man City the favorites.
Oh.
But you never know in football.
Yeah, you never know. We still have a ton more data to look at.
Including those individual player performances and the tactical approaches that each manager might take.
Exactly. And don't forget about the historical data.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about the history between these two clubs.
We'll get into all of that in part 2.
So stay tuned because this deep dive is far from over.
We're just getting started.
Welcome back everybody to our deep dive into this Man City-Chelsea showdown.
All right, so we left off talking about the injuries and how they might affect things tactically for both teams.
Yeah, so let's get into some of those individual players. Who should we be watching closely in this one?
Well, for Man City, it's pretty hard to ignore Erling Haaland, right? I mean, the guy's a goal-scoring machine.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable this season, just consistently finding the back of the net.
Pace power. It's a nightmare for a defender.
Absolutely. So who should we be looking at for Chelsea?
Well, you got to keep an eye on Raheem Sterling.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that extra motivation factor being a former Man City player. I'm sure he'd love to.
The revenge factor always adds a little spice to the game.
For sure. And Sterling's speed dribbling skills can cause some real problems for any defense.
Yeah, especially if Man City's backline is still kind of adjusting to John Stones potentially being back but not fully fit.
That's a great point. Stone's fitness could be a real wild card in this match.
Yeah.
If he's on 100%, Chelsea might try to exploit that side of the pitch.
Yeah, with Sterling's runs.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got some individual players to watch, but what about the overall tactical approaches?
Yeah.
How do these managers typically set up their teams?
Well, under Pep Guardiola, Man City are known for their possession-based football. You know, they like to control the tempo, patiently build up attacks, and just suffocate their opponents.
They're like a python just slowly squeezing the life out of them.
That's a great analogy.
But Chelsea, under Graham Potter, they've shown that they could be a little bit more adaptable, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes they'll opt for a more direct approach, looking to hit teams on the counterattack. And given the injuries to their defense, we might see them sit back a bit more, absorb the pressure, and then try to catch Man City on the break.
So it could be a real clash of styles. Man City trying to dictate the game with possession, Chelsea looking to exploit any gaps with quick transitions.
Exactly. And this is where those individual battles become even more important.
Yeah.
Can Chelsea's midfield disrupt Man City's rhythm?
Can their depleted defense hold up against Haaland's attacks?
And on the flip side, can Man City's defense handle Sterling's pace and trickery?
Oh, and don't forget about set pieces.
Oh yeah, set pieces are huge.
Those could be crucial in a match like this. Free kicks, corners. There are opportunities to create chances, even when the flow of play isn't going your way.
Absolutely. Both teams have players who can deliver dangerous balls into the box.
We saw that in the data, with both teams having pretty high probabilities of scoring from set pieces.
It all adds up to a really fascinating tactical battle. Two top managers, contrasting styles, a whole chessboard of possibilities.
That's exciting. But there's one more layer we need to consider here.
Oh yeah, this is the big one, the mental game.
Oh, the mental game.
Yeah.
You're talking about pressure, composure, all those intangible factors that can make a huge difference in a big match.
Exactly. Think about the psychological impact of an early goal or a missed penalty. Those moments can completely shift the momentum.
It's like a heavyweight boxing match. One well-timed punch can change everything.
And let's not underestimate the influence of the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
The Etihad Stadium is known for its electric atmosphere. Those Man City fans will be roaring their team on trying to create a cauldron of noise for Chelsea.
Yeah, that home crowd advantage can be a real boost for the players. It's like having an extra player on the field.
It can be intimidating for the opposing team, but Chelsea's players are no strangers to big games. They've faced hostile crowds before, and they know how to stay focused.
So we've got the tactical battle, the individual matchups, the mental game, the crowd. It's almost too much to process.
But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Football is a complex sport with so many layers. And this match, with all its storylines and potential turning points, it's a perfect example of that complexity.
I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. But before we get too carried away, let's remember this is just one match in a long season.
Right, a single result, however significant, won't determine who wins the Premier League title. But this match is definitely a key moment for both teams.
A chance to make a statement, to gain an advantage over a rival. And that's why we're here.
That's it.
To break down all the angles, to dig deeper than the surface, to understand the why behind the what.
And we're not done yet.
There's one more piece of the puzzle to explore.
The historical data.
What can we learn from past Man City versus Chelsea encounters? We'll get into all of that in part 3.
So stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're in the final part now of our deep dive into Man City versus Chelsea. We've covered so much already.
We have.
Recent form, tactical analysis, mental game. But now it's time to kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture.
The historical context.
Exactly. Because this match isn't just a standalone event, right?
Right. It's part of a much bigger story, a rivalry that goes back years.
And, I always find that looking back at previous encounters can sometimes reveal interesting patterns or trends, that might give us clues about how this upcoming match could unfold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's hop into our time machine and see what we can dig up from the archives.
All right, so first off, it's no secret that these two teams have a pretty long and intense rivalry.
Yeah, decades of battles.
Yeah, in the Premier League domestic cups, even European tournaments.
And some unforgettable moments from those matches, too.
Oh, yeah.
Late winners, controversial decisions, those dramatic comebacks. It's all part of what makes this rivalry so exciting.
Yeah, I'm thinking about those classic battles, between players like John Terry and Sergio Aguero.
Hell yeah.
Frank Lampard going up against Yaya Toure. I mean, those are some epic duels.
And even today, you've got players like Kevin De Bruyne for Man City and N'Golo Kanté for Chelsea, who always seem to step it up when these two teams meet.
Yeah, okay, so we know there's a rich history here. But what about more recently? Who's had the upper hand?
Well, looking back at their last 10 meetings across all competitions, Man City has won 6 times.
Okay.
Chelsea has won twice, and there have been 2 draws.
So a clear advantage for Man City.
Recently, yeah. But like we've been saying, past performance doesn't guarantee future results.
Right. Chelsea's going to be determined to break that trend and prove that they can beat Man City.
And they've done it before.
Yeah, think about the 2021 Champions League final.
Exactly. Chelsea pulled off a stunning upset to win the title.
So you can never count them out.
Never, especially in a big game like this.
All right, so we've analyzed the stats, dissected the tactics, explored the mental game, and now journeyed through the history books. I think we've covered just about everything.
I think so.
You should be ready to go out there and sound like a true expert at the pub.
But remember, this is just a starting point. Football is full of surprises, so, don't be afraid to make your own predictions and draw your own conclusions.
Exactly. This is a game of opinions, passionate debates. So what do y'all think? Who's going to win this epic showdown?
Let us know.
As you watch the match, keep in mind everything that we've talked about.
Yes.
Think about the individual battles, the tactical nuances, the weight of history. It all makes this matchup so captivating.
It's not just about the final score, it's about the story that unfolds on the pitch.
Well said. I think that's a great way to wrap things up.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive, and we'll be back soon with another one on a topic that you're passionate about. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep the conversation going.
See you next time.